Chem Fiends. So, hi, I'm KJ Stingray, as I'm known on my blog. And so today, instead of doing a written blog, or I guess in supplement to the written blog, we're going to do a little video about fun with models. Yay! Now, if you're in an organic class, you probably know about models and you probably have a model kit. But if not, here is what mine looks like. It's a model kit. And in here, you have a bunch of different things. You have your basic, the black ones are usually carbons. You have, these are all hydrogens. Then these are your various other molecules. Usually if you have a bigger set, then it's going to have more of these and more options for what you can do. And then here are all the different types of bonds. There are different bond lengths, and if you really want to get fancy with your models, then you can try to do different bond lengths. Personally, I usually use the pinkish, reddish ones, and just for a rough sketch to help. And these represent lone pairs. If they're big and floppy, if you know things about chemistry, then that'll make sense. Otherwise, it's just weird. And here are your carbon 13s, I suppose. They're the carbons that have 5 bonding areas, which usually is a no-no. And these are oxygens, I believe? Maybe? Yeah, we'll go with that. So, that is just a little rundown of what a model kit looks like. If you get, like I said, if you have a bigger one, a fancier one that costs more than $15, then you probably will have lots more options and lots more molecules and things you can do, because I only have 9 carbons, which when you're doing organic chemistry can be kind of limiting, but it's still really helpful. So I guess that's what we'll talk about first, is why model kits are helpful and why you probably, I would say, should have one. Model kits are extremely useful if we're looking at symmetry, which is a large part of inorganic chemistry and organic chemistry. So here we have propane, and this one is all fancy because it even has all of the hydrogens on it, and I actually did the bond angle, or the bond lengths right, so yay me. And so when you're looking at this, it's very easy to see the symmetry from all angles. And usually if you see this on paper in a two-dimensional way, you can see this line of symmetry right here, but it's sometimes harder to see the way that the hydrogens will have a line of symmetry this way because it's flat on the paper. So when you can actually get your hands on it, and for much more complex molecules, it's especially helpful, because then if you have something that's in like a tetrahedral, like the way that this is spread out, tetrahedral, if you just had this, it's kind of hard to sometimes see the way that the hydrogens will actually place themselves. So very helpful, especially with symmetry. I personally have a lot of trouble with symmetry, so if you have a lot of trouble with symmetry, this will probably help. Another thing that they are good for is just being able to look at the molecule from all sorts of angles for interactions. This way you can see this. Also, it will show you the rotation, the fact that each one of these hydrogens is not like sitting in this spot forever. It can rotate freely, and you can rotate it on the model. So it gives you an idea of the overall interactions between the different atoms in your molecule, and the way that it actually moves and will act in nature. I will say though, one bad thing about the model kits is that they can be time consuming to make, and you can't always make them on tests and things, because if you have my chem teacher, then you have no time to do anything on the chem test. But they are extremely helpful. Yeah, so molecules. And also, another part of this is that models are great. I love models. I personally use models all the time when I'm doing my homework. But a great thing about the internet and the technology that we now have is there are also a bunch of websites and programs you can go to. Now, if you have a chemistry class right now, you probably are dealing with Mastering Chemistry or Sapling, or something to that effect, something online homeworky, and you're probably hating it because they have so many technical problems that they're really frustrating. But they are really useful and helpful in that usually you'll be able to get a 3D model that you can rotate within the program, and that can be really good to use. So even though those programs are kind of a pain because they have all these technical difficulties and they can be really frustrating as far as numbers of significant figures and things like that, they can be extremely helpful in visualizing molecules if you don't have a model kit like this. So, I suppose that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this model fun times. They really can be fun and they really can be great, and I would attribute them to any success that I have with symmetry. So if you trust me, which you should because I'm wearing a panda hat, then I would go get one. Okay, well, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will not see you, but I will talk to you more soon. Okay.